Hey everybody, how's it going? Give me a second to turn my chat off here. There we go. How's it going? Let me say hi to everybody. Uh, wow. Donna Holland, me, Sarah Young, and Susan Bass. But it says there's more. But it says there's more. How are you today? I'm back in a lot of pain again. Um, oh, hang on a second here. I'm back in a bit of a fibro fog. No, we're not going to blame it on, silly Saturday. I really needed the music and the cutting loose yesterday. But if I just tilt my head that way, out a little bit, right down underneath my shoulder blade pulls. So I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, I do. It's called fibromyalgia. How is everybody doing today? Let me just give me a second here. I think I've buggered something up. Yeah, okay, give me a second here. And there we go. Save. Come and get your love. How's everybody doing today? Everybody knows what I just did. Oops. Darn it, if I do that again. Now, folks, if you are coming in here from a YouTube notification, please do not share this link. I left it public for about a minute and a half, and then I put it unlisted. So if you're here from YouTube, this is unlisted. Okay, it's unlisted, so please don't share this until after I've made it public after the fact. How is everybody doing today? Now let me say hi. Angie Mack, Donna Holland, Jazzy Kathy, Jean Phillips, Kristen Dion, Lena K, Margie L, c'est moi, Sarah Young, Susan Bass, Teasers Pleasers, Tracy Tompkins, Vicky Lemire, Whitney Gibson. How is everybody today? Please make sure you're on live chat, not top chat. I have about 30 pounds of apples to process today when Dennis and I get home from the store. I know. Didn't somebody, was it you somebody gave you like 3 grocery bags full of apples? Hey, how's it going? Hey, Lou and Emily. How's it going, Amy? Mark, Catlin, Penny D, Margie L. I'm in pain again today. But it's Sunday. So I'm going to do nothing after this live stream except work on a quilt. Oh, and blanch my beans from yesterday. So, okay, can't see to type. Are you on your phone or are you on your desktop or laptop or are you on a tablet? That makes a difference. And if you are, I don't know how to tell you what to do, how to get it. Hey, McCann's heart. My fibromyalgia is making me tired. Well, it rained in the night, so I have no idea. And I refuse to believe it was my silly Saturday, right? I refuse to believe that was, there we go. I refuse to believe that that's responsible for me because I was relaxed more than I've been in a long time when I did the silly Saturday last night. Desktop just going due to end stage desktop just going be kind due to end stage renal disease. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Hey, Sue Martin, how's it going? I have 2 hurricanes to deal with this week. Oh, lovely. Just going bind due to end stage renal disease. I'm still not sure I understand. Happy birthday. What's your name, McCann's heart? Well, give me a first name. Pay no attention to the woman behind the pretty pink fan. Blind? Really? Really? I didn't know that had anything to do with your kidneys. In all honesty. Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that, honey. We will lift you up in prayer today like we lift everybody. Please, because if God brought you to it, he may not cure you of it, but he'll bring you through it one way or another, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pam. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy birthday, McCann's heart. Hey, Joanne, how are you, darling? Holy crap, Joe. How long's it been? How's it going? Hi, Chaos. All right, everybody saying happy birthday. I'm going to get behind the fan again for a minute. I think I'm going to... Oh, excuse me. Dallas is coping the best she can. Never that woman's spirit is, God, don't ever try and break that woman's spirit. Lisa Strahan. Now, please, folks, if you're coming in here from YouTube, please do not share this link until after I have made this public. Once I allow it to go to YouTube public for about a minute and a half, and then I go back to unlisted. So we are unlisted. Please do not share this link. Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. Hi, Ann Lewis. How are you today? Excuse me. There it is. There it is. That's how it goes. Good. Excellent. Email me, Joanne, at Connected Hearts Family. Connected Hearts Family, all one word, at gmail.com. So I have your updated address. Hey, Rhonda, how are you today? So after this, I'm going to be working on Mikey and Amanda's quilt. I have to get it done. And that's all I'm going to do today. Aside from blanching and dehydrating. More beans! More beans! So excuse me, I'm soon going to have a full half-gallon jar of dehydrated beans. So I'll have my beans for this winter because I got 40 pints and I'll have a half-gallon jar dehydrated, and the carrots should be coming out soon. I've been on dialysis for 14 years. The eyes go bad with everything else. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mary Jane still is not on dialysis. But hopefully she'll soon have to have, if they don't get her on dialysis, she's going to have another blood transfusion soon. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You're doing elderberries. What are you doing with your elderberries? Are you making syrup? Or are you making jelly? Or are you doing a little bit of both? It said again, payment required. What the hell are you looking at, Yarn Prepper? Where does it say payment required? There is no payment to get here unless you're trying to come through Patreon and you are not a patron. Otherwise, go through Connected Hearts. So I don't understand why it's saying payment required. You're here. It's not like this isn't a I don't have a membership thing for this channel, just Patreon and Connected Hearts Facebook. I've learned a lot about myself and God's love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, He brought you to it, He'll bring you through it. And you know what? No lessons, good, bad, or indifferent, are bad lessons. Okay, that came out wrong. All lessons are good lessons. Sometimes they're just painful, right? Well, I love your attitude, Emily. I really do. When I click on your Connected Hearts Facebook link, I don't understand. I don't understand why it would do that. Are you a Connected Heart? Like, are you part of the Connected Hearts Facebook page? Hey, Furby, how's it going? Quilting question. Why does the back have to be a solid piece? Or is it possible to use the same type of squares I use for the front? Sure, you can do that if you want. But the backing being one solid piece or two strips sewn together into a solid piece is to support your very hard worked, put together quilt top. Okay? The back is kind of like, think about it this way. All right? You've got a spider web. All right? Spider webs are really strong. But if you put that spider web on a piece of paper, it now becomes 100 times stronger. Do you understand? That's why we put backings on quilts, right? You can use anything you want, but it all depends on how long do you want the quilt to last, okay? If you want the quilt to last a long time, you are going to put a lot of work into making sure every single seam in your top is tight and almost drum tight and watertight almost. And then when you quilt it to the backing, the more quilting you do, the longer it's going to last. Does that make sense? Like, for instance, if you tie a quilt, it's not going to last as long as a quilted quilt, unless you like put a tie every second inch kind of thing. Hey, Debbie HS from Wisconsin, how are you? Hey, Corey C. Blessings to you too. Okay, well, do yourself a favor and put a good solid backing on it. Wash your quilt top before you put it together in the frame because you want to make sure it's going to stand up to washing first. So wash your quilt top, put it through the dryer, and then go over all your seams to check for loose seams. Tighten them up. Do yourself a favor. You want it to last a long time, you put the time into it, right? So what's everybody else doing today? Yeah, please don't share this link until after I have made this public. We don't need spam bots. All right? I've worked it out so that patrons and Connected Hearts come in, but I've also worked it out so far that it seems like I'm getting it out to YouTube and then making it unlisted. And that helps keep us private, but do not share this link, especially on Twitter. Or you're in Wisconsin too. I may be doing a Wisconsin run next year. You just never know. From YouTube notifications. Awesome. That's awesome. So please just don't share the link. Hey, Melissa Southworth, how are you today? So, Howie's out painting another truck. No, I didn't do a video this time. But the truck, I'm going to lose my truck tomorrow because the young man, Alex, Howie's painting his truck, because of some runs we had to make into Ottawa yesterday, Howie didn't get his job done as soon as he wanted to. And Alex needs his truck for work, so he's going to take mine. No, I don't lend my truck out. But Alex is like one of my kids. Packing to move back to Arizona. Well, where are you now, Rhonda? And whereabouts in Arizona are you going to live? Can stay free at my house. Well, I have a pretty, I don't, it's, you know what? It all depends on borders being open, finances, and whether I got new wheels and brakes on the coach before we do this kind of trip to Wisconsin to meet Steven Seedfeld and have some fun in his kitchen. Me tea! Boy or girl? Me tea, me tea, me tea. Thank you, darling. It is so good. We have been praying for you. How are you, darling? What's going on August 27th? Supposed to be some major shift or event. I have no idea. Hey, Fury! Oh, my heart is complete. Now, if Doris was here and Dallas was here, I'd be like, the sisterhood would be here. Going to CSA Grand. We had a mobile home. I have a question. What's better for candy? Butter or tincture? Depends on the candy you're making, honey. I haven't if you're doing like gummies, tincture. But if you're doing hard candies, butter. That's just off the top of my head. I don't have good news. Okay, well tell me what's going on, me tea. I'm so glad you made it. How you feeling today, Patricia? Just, hey, Mr. Bucky, my pirate friend. Just got my raised bed built and logs in it. Now gotta get topsoil. Have you been watching CJM Farms, Mr. Bucky? My cousin Jeremy, my nephew Jeremy, he calls me Aunt Bev. He made a whole bunch of logs, raised beds up in at his property. Only share if you're up to it, me tea. Absolutely. Yes, hard candy with butter. I feel good today. I'm so good. Oh, well, you know what? I got to tell you folks, and I'm not going to, I can't say this enough. Since moving to Quebec, I have fought to be able to grow tomatoes enough to get them coming ripe off the vine. And I've never had any luck. I've always had more green tomatoes than red. Well, this year, hey, Teflon, how's it going, sweetheart? Anyway, when I got the tall cages, not the peony cages, but the really tall cages, tomato cages. And once my plants started to produce fruit, like little tiny, like flowers and little tiny green tomatoes below the top ring, I cut all the plants off across the top, this far above the top ring. So all the growth, now this is, I don't know why I haven't done this before. All the growth goes to the tomatoes and the flowering that below where you've cut off. So when these plants got to like 3 feet, 4 feet, and they were showing signs of little green tomatoes and flowers inside the cage, I cut them off about 3 inches off across the top. And I just kept picking anything off that grew. All the growth went to the tomatoes. I have vine ripened tomatoes that big. So folks, if you're seeing this and you're wondering how my tomatoes did when I started breaking off the vines across the top, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I'm going to grow tomatoes again next year. And I didn't get any blossom end rot. So my Epsom salts and eggshells really did the trick when I put a teaspoon in during planting. Hey, Virginia Reed. Wink Tartan Bell, how are you from North Texas? Melissa, Bev, I live in cold weather and have a lot of cherry tomatoes. I have dehydrated them. Now, did you just poke a couple of holes, like prick them with a fork before you dehydrated them? Because I've heard, Tony DeLuca! I've heard that dehydrated tomatoes, you can make your own home sun-dried tomatoes, and I'd love to try that. But I'm not getting enough cherry tomatoes, but I will be planting some next year. Remember to be on live chat, not top chat. Thank you very much. And please don't share this link. It is unlisted. Oh my God, I hope it's unlisted. Hang on a second. Come and get your love. Yes, it is unlisted. Come and get your love. Hey, baby. Come and get...
Yeah, I can hear folks.
Yep, come and get your love. How's the truck doing?
Done. Painted. Looks good.
So
he's just coming out around 7:30.
And he's taking my truck home?
Truck, and then he's going to take mine home.
Awesome. We are such a team. Especially when we don't want to drive anywhere, eh?
Yeah, I'm not.
Did you have your swim?
I had a swim, and I even had a shower in the coach because I.
Okay. You know what? You're on supper tonight. You got buns and hamburgers, right?
I got buns.
So you can grill them up. Or we could do them in the new wave, but either way, it's, you know, after I get off my live stream, I'm going to sit and quilt and we can watch TV if you want.
We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go sit and have coffee.
Okay, baby. All right. Good job, sweetheart. Everybody says hello. He says hello. No, cut them in half. Yes, sun-dried is best. Now, why would you cut them in half? Wouldn't that make them too dry? And do the sun-dried tomatoes. Well, I'm going to try that when I get cherry tomatoes. But I'm telling you, I already have, like, you know, the flats that your half-pint jars come in? I already have one of them flats full of tomatoes in my freezer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save some seeds. I do believe these are the brandy wine. Because they're so... I'm going to show you. Ah! Hang on a second, folks. I'm doing a video. I made BLTs on Friday night with a big tomato, and it wasn't even one of my biggest. And this is the small one. Now look at that. This is my face. All right. This is one of the, like, I have smaller ones that were a different breed, but of the brandy wines, this is the smallest one I picked. Look at the amount of meat in there. And I'm surprised. They're more of a pink tomato than an orange tomato. Do you know what I mean? I have to go, I have these two pieces, the end piece and the other slice, I'm going to save the seeds from. Oh, I'll be right back. Oof. That's going to be on our burgers tonight. Ow. Friggin'. Oh. Ow. Okay. That's going to be on our burgers tonight. Well, that one's about this big. The one I ate, the one that I made out of, I made the BLTs was like this. I have a picture of it. I'm holding it in my hand, and you can't see my hand. Like I'm cradling it in my hand, and you can barely, you can't barely see my hand, right? Well, yes, you can, Patricia. Sure you can. Just get them to a height, right? Start them early inside, and then when you plant them and you put them in a big, tall tomato cage, and when you get to the top, just start ruthlessly cutting off everything above the 3 inches above the top of the cage. And I'm telling you, all the growth is going to go to the tomatoes. But wait until you're seeing flowers and stuff. Hey, Chaos! Visiting in live chat feels like it did when I was younger. Neighbors and friends visiting in the front yard. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? Um, I love your canning curtain. Did you make it? No, I didn't. And it's not a curtain. It is actually a quilt. I'm actually thinking of putting it on my bedroom, but then, it has to be. I don't know. It was a gift from a YouTube family member, and she didn't actually sign her name on the bottom. She just said a YouTube fan. But I was going to make one of those one day, and then I got it in the mail. I was so happy. Um, that's the way all beefsteak tomatoes used to look. Well, I'm telling you, Teflon. I'm saving seeds from that because those. I don't know if and the Polish ones, or some of them, they're weird. They're all kind of twisted and got holes in them, but they're not holes from bugs. They're just ugly, but oh, delicious. I've had a toasted tomato sandwich a day ever since I started getting tomatoes off the vine, and I'm still freezing some. So I think what I'm going to do is when all the tomatoes are done, whatever's in the freezer, I'm just going to blanch and peel, puree, and dehydrate. Hey, Jazzy. Kathy. Hey, Betty. Me T is here. Me T is in live chat. Here. I don't have the patience to sew. I hate sewing, but quilting I love. Quilting and I like patchwork, making patchworks, and I love quilting them. But making things, I'm not that. But you are going to see me. I'm making 2 kitty cat quilts, which you can make as doll quilts or miniature quilts or whatever you want. But I'm making 2 kitty cat quilts. Yeah, Me T was just here with Sally. Purple Cherokee. Well, this year, oh, there's my turnips. Those are the white globe ones. I'm gonna get these seeds here. Holy crap! I didn't know I had seeds. Where'd these seeds come from? Somebody asked me if I could send them some nasturtiums. That's time I don't have, darling. I'm really, really sorry. She offered to pay for them and pay for the shipping and everything, but I don't have the time to pick all the nasturtiums and then dry them and then post them. Right? I just don't. So, I'm looking forward to a tomato sandwich soon. Fingers crossed. I hear ya. Oh, you got your multi-biscuit tea. That's wonderful. You're getting ready to plant your winter garden. Now, where are you, Michelle? Are you in, like, say, Arizona or Florida, or where are you or are you on the other side of the world? Are you in, like, New Zealand or Australia? I sew, quilt with machine, and clothes. Well, I'm going to make these little quilts for my grandkitties. And I'm going to make sure they know who Grandma is. Because once they're done, I'm going to rub them all over myself. Well, just, my face or whatever to give them my smell. So when they get home. Phoenix. Yeah, we used to have a mobile home in a park in Peoria. We loved it. Howie called it Phoenix, but no, it was Peoria. Come on, Howie. Lovely area. Lovely area. I'm making full quilt for my grandkids. Well, good for you, Vicky. Miss Bev, God blessed us with a beautiful baby girl. She was a stillbirth, born naturally at 41 weeks. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did they tell you why it happened? But you know what? You email me when you want to, and my heart breaks for you, sweetheart. We had some kids try to burn down the high school. What? I'm so sorry, Meaty. Sorry, folks. I just wanted a moment there. God brought you to it. He brought you through it. And If you ever want to talk to me, T, connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. All right? Whatever you say to me will be kept in confidence. Joe Mama! Mama tried Homestead. How's it going, Joe Mama? You missed it. I showed off one of my tomatoes, and that was one of the smaller ones. No, madam. Sorry, I didn't have guts to give you this news. There's nothing to forgive, sweetheart. Nothing at all to forgive. Hey, Taylor Dykeman! Why would you be asking my forgiveness when you've been through something horrific? It's okay, baby. Hey, Auntie, gotta get motivation to pick and preserve today, but I think I need to slip away to the thrift stores first. I've missed you lots. You going for jars, sweetheart? Missed you too, sweetheart. Hey, Julie from Minnesota. How's it going? We will keep you in our prayers, me T. But please, you can email me, and anything you say to me will be kept between you and I. You understand? If you need to talk. And don't think you'd be burdening me, because you're not. You understand? Absolutely, Patricia. I just finished planting my first fall garden. Carrots, beets, some winter squashes, broccoli, and cauliflower, some lettuce. It's an experiment since I've never done it. So where do you live, Crystal Byrne, that you start planting in the fall? I mean, I know that things like beets and carrots can be planted really early, like as soon as the ground can be worked. But I found 2 ball jars, 50 cents each. One was even an old blue one. I still have a Crown Royal around somewhere. Please excuse me. So the more I realize, the more how quick Howie's getting work coming into our barn, he needs a proper shop. He needs a proper shop. I just finished planting my fall garden. Okay. I'm working to storm-proof my plants. Expected to get some from the twin hurricanes coming in. Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. New Jersey. So I'm not sure I understand. Like, I can see you putting in lettuce and stuff, but beets and stuff at this point? Because if that, and I'm disappointed with my rutabaga bed. I'm going to have to go to the farmer's market. New Jersey. Okay. Well, good luck with that. Keep us posted on how that goes. Did he vacuum the pool? It's late for New Jersey. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's awful late. But lettuce, and sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. But lettuce and stuff like that has a short growing season. And you know what? When I planted those 4 beds of beans, and then I ripped up my leeks the celery bed. I took up the celery bed to see how it would do in the water, which it hasn't done any better than what's growing in the soil. As a matter of fact, the soil celery is doing better. So, on my floaty. But if you actually have an aquaponics system or a hydroponic system, that might work for you. If you have the water, aerator, and nutrients and all that stuff. Hey, Terry White. Yeah, how he's doing he always has. I mean, we used to have our garage attached to our house in Colburn was a little body shop. So now, but the barn, because of the additions and stuff, the beams are too low. It's really hard getting vehicles in and out. And it's not the greatest place to paint a vehicle. So we're looking at some of those refurbished buildings or whatever, but there's 3 things we need for him to have a shop. We need to have its own assigned electrical pole. It needs a concrete pad, and he needs a shop on top of that concrete pad. So that's a lot of bucks. There goes my generator. You know what I mean? But the plan is for when Howie retires, that he will continue to do, say, work at home over the winter. Or not over the winter, in the summer. Spring, summer, and fall, and then we would, bugger off to like Florida or Arizona or South Carolina or somewhere, right? Stocked up and go bags ready for bug out here in Florida Panhandle. Good for you, honey. Good for you. No, Dallas, no reason given, madam. We have no reason, and had my OB ultrasound just a day before. They say they may merge first time in 12,000 years. Don't forget a heater for Howie's shop. Oh, you know what I would really like for his shop? One of those outdoor furnaces. One of those outdoor furnaces. Right? Because then it's not taking up space in the shop. But with all the uncertainty right now, lots of smart people are ditching debt, not buying new, but repairing old vehicles. Well, yeah. And then there's also the fact that it is what he does. When Howie's 53, when he retires at 67, okay, or 65 or whatever age he decides to retire, right? He wants to continue to work. Period. He says people who retire from the body shop are dead within a year. It's like my dad used to say. Tradesmen who suddenly stop doing their trade after a lifetime of it die. Pretty sure it's shock. We have a pellet stove. The problem is you don't want any live flames anywhere where you might be painting or where you're storing combustible materials. So it would be a safety thing for me, for him to get a small outdoor furnace, if they even come. But if we did it right, we can make it run for the whole house and the shop. You know what I mean? So, but planting 3 beet seeds together gives wonderful results. Okay, I missed something there. Teasers, pleasers. Bev, plant beets now and plant 3 beets in sections. But why? I live in Canada. That doesn't make sense to me. I have not seen Dallas. Is she here? Is Malka here? Hey, Malka! Hi, honey. How are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. How are your cats? And how have you managed this summer, honey? Hey, Super Hazer! How's it going? Make sure you put your link for your Weed Wondering channel in here, Super Hazer. Oh, it's good to see you, Malka. Very good to see you. So, I've been getting beans. This is what I want to tell you. I got those 4 beds, and then, remember I pulled up all the celery? Well, I put a handful of bean seeds in there. And they're gone bonkers. And I thought some of them were climbing, and some of them weren't. So it's like, you know what? I think next year I'm going to plant beans in 2 separate sowings. You know what I mean? When canning corn, do you parboil or not? I've seen it done both ways. If you're canning it from fresh, off the cob, okay, blanch the cob in boiling water, then put it in ice water, then cut it off the cobs and can it. Unless you're canning frozen corn from, like if you've got whole frozen corn in your freezer, roast that. Like if it's in its husks and everything. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, you might want to put a load in the wash, dear. Like of darks. Huh? Yeah, okay. Awesome. Um, Frozen niblets corn from the store. Go straight in the jars. Boiling water, like, rinse it, boiling water it, like, put it in the jars, boiling water, can it as corn. Corn on the cob, if it's fresh, husk it, boil it a little bit, like blanch it for 2 minutes. Put it in ice water, cut it off the cob, can it, add water and salt, and can it that way. Or put it in the jars, add boiling water and salt, debubble, and can it that way. If your cobs are frozen in the husks in the freezer, do what I did. Stack them in the oven, roast them, rotating them a couple of times. Roast them, then cut them off the cob and can them with boiling water or dehydrate. I know, Patricia Furby. I already sang happy birthday to Pam. Our second beans are now producing. Yeah, mine are too. I've got a load to go on, but I'm not doing, and it's only one bed. Makes me think I should have planted them less beans in the bed. I think I overcrowded my bean beds. So that's. I'm not planting rutabagas next year. They just don't do well in those raised beds, dear. I'll have to get some from the farmer's market. My corn is over 8 feet tall. Got tassels, but no corn babies yet. Wow, really? No corn babies at all? Does it help if you break the tassels off? Oh no, you want them to. Is it self-pollinating? You're talking to the wrong person about growing corn, eh, dear? The only time we grew corn, just when it was getting ready, the deer came in and ate it all. Got to get back to the garden. You're welcome, Joe Mama. You're welcome. Bev, Melka, I am fine. Kitty Ricky is about 4+ and very affectionate. His mama lives inside mainly now, so 3 inside, 3 outside. Keeps me very busy. Summer phenomenal garden. Haven't been away. There you go. Bev, wrong Patricia. Sorry. Sorry, what did I say? Oh, Furby. Yeah, sorry. Did I say Fury? I need the tassels for pollinating. Okay, so once they start to grow, then you cut the tassels off. Like once you have corn babies, that means they're pollinating. Cut the tassels off. Somebody told me cut the tassels off, and again, the growth goes to the corn. But don't take my word for it. Do the research. Why? Because I don't grow corn for crap. Hey, Rennie, how's it going, sweetheart? We ate our only 7 cobs yesterday. Squirrels got the rest. Squirrels, raccoons, and deer. I got apple trees that produce nothing 2 years in a row now because the deers have chewed them. I'm going to see if I can't get Howie to set up an electric fence around my apple trees this winter. Because we do have one. Right? Put your questions in all caps for Bev. Yes, please. It's a confusing, no problem. That's all right. Furby and Fury. I know, and they're very similar too. Go through and shake each sock so the pollen falls to the silks to pollinate. Okay, that's good to know, Susan. Thank you. Me tea. It's good to see you, me team. We're glad you're home. You gave us a lot of worries. We were really worried about you. But you're safe and you're healthy, and that's what matters. And you've been given back to us. So that's what's important. Whitney Gibson, I finally mastered my sourdough starter. What's to master? Unless you're starting it like without yeast. I always started mine with yeast. Well, not always. I mean, I could put a jar of flour and water with a bit of cheesecloth over it, like really open, wide, and set it out to catch wild yeast, and that would work too. Have you tried decarbing it? I no, honey. This is all I have. This is all I have, and some butter, right? My plants that were started in the tent should have been left in the tent and then just to go to flower, and I'd have a crop right now. But now they're flowering. And hey, Howie, did you cut the prune the plants? I don't know if he heard me or not. Honey, you know what? The good news is you're here. You're alive, and we are no longer afraid for your well-being. Because leaving us in the dark leaves us in the dark, right? Question. Hey, Pookie Foods. Using dehydrated zucchini in meatloaf instead of bread, how much zucchini per loaf? I'd say maybe a half a cup, right? And grind it into a powder. But yeah, wait a second. Yeah, for meatloaf. Yeah, absolutely. About a half a cup per pound of hamburger. A couple of days ago, you talked about making butter later on, so just asking. I'm not. I've already made butter, and I decarbed it at my regular decarb. And trust me, it's strong. But I will try it next time. The 212 for, did you say an hour? Super Hazer, did you say an hour at 212? Yes, without yeast. Well, there you go. Yes. You're welcome, Pookie Foods. I am. I'm just glad you're back with us, Meaty. So, give me a second. Pay no attention to the woman behind the hand. Hey, Anita J. Arthur, how are you? Please remember, to all the folks who are coming here through YouTube, once you got the notice, once I was sure the notice was sent out, I made it unlisted. So please do not share this link until after I have made it public. Bev, by the way, I want to say thank you for saving my son's life. What are you talking about, Susan? Hey, Hometown Cooking with Marianne. How's it going? I planted 4 in 4 hills for 3 sisters. I will go shake them next time I'm up. Good idea. Susan, what are you talking about? Me tea, says Kara Krantz. We are your Connected Hearts family. We try to help you carry your sorrows and your burdens. We don't just share in the joys. We love you much. Ditto. Thank you. Can't remember to be on. Oh, I'm on Top Chat. How the hell did I do that? There, I'm on live chat. Sorry about that. Bev, back in June, you sang happy birthday to him. Okay. So what's that got to do with... I'm not sure I understand. You said I'm saved his life. I didn't save anybody's life. Right? I'm just a person on the internet. I don't save lives. That's not who I am. I played it for him, and he confessed to me the other night. Later that night, he planned to take his own life. Oh, honey. Oh. Well, you let your son know. Okay? I just use a half a teaspoon of butter every night when I go to bed, Super Hazer. That's all I use it for. Now you play this for your son, okay? Even when you feel like you are up against a brick wall, and you can't see your way around it, above it, under it, or over it. To you, it is an endless brick wall. But there are us out there who see your way around it for you. When you feel you're up against a brick wall, talk to somebody, because they may have a different perspective from where you're standing to where they're standing. The brick wall is only a brick wall for you at that moment. You've just got to talk to somebody and they will help you around it or through it, or they'll help you knock it down. Never, ever, ever feel that you're alone against that brick wall, okay? And that goes for everybody. See, Bev, you never know when you touch someone's life and not even know it. I didn't do that, though. God did. Do not give me that. Do not give me that praise. That is not me. If in some way, you know, he heard God's voice through a message here, then that's wonderful. But it wasn't me. Okay? He did get into counseling, but he still has a long way to go and hard work to get through that wall. God bless him. You give him our love and you tell him we lift him up in prayer daily. Daily. And we send him positive energy daily. Okay, Joe Mama. I'm just going to say okay. All right? Because I'm not going to argue. I really, really, really have a hard time if people put me on a pedestal. Do not do that, please. If I got a message through to somebody from God, then I'm just the messenger. Okay? Don't put me on a pedestal. The fall is hard and my bones are brittle. Do you understand? I'm only human. You just take a spoon the way I take it, my olive oil, then yes, decarb for 1 hour and simmer butter for maximum 20 minutes for better taste. Oh, honey, I simmer my butter for hours. I do it in my French coffee press after I've decarbed it. We never know when God will work through us. You feel it, do it. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Rosemary. Words are powerful in good ways and bad ways. Absolutely, Teflon. You are a good woman. I love your humility. That humility is hard won. And if I don't stay humble, I'll die. And that's the God's honest truth. Why? Because I'm an alcoholic. And if 1 minute, for 1 second, any of this becomes all about or because of me, I'm that close to taking a drink. I can't explain it. I'm just saying I'm only alive today but for the grace of God. My children, my husband are alive today because God chose to help me get sober. I'm alive today because God chose it, not me. Now, no, I'm not preaching. Please, folks, don't take this that I'm a religious person. I have a one-on-one contact with the higher power of my understanding, whom I choose to call God. Just because I call my higher power God doesn't mean what it means for you. It's mine. You know, everybody has their own connection with God, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We can share those connections, and we can share our revelations and our joys and our sorrows and all those things, but the moment you try and make your faith represent somebody else in their life, you are taking away from them. You're taking if you give your faith, or you say believe like me, okay, and people do, what does that do? That means you are giving a belief to somebody. And it's going to fail because it's not theirs, it's yours, right? So you can share, but you can't give your faith away to somebody else, all right? You are robbing them from a completely 100% one-on-one experience with the higher power of their understanding if you try and make them to believe your higher power is the best higher power. Do you understand? So it's one thing to congregate and to get together and share and uplift, but don't ever press your faith or your higher power on somebody else, because you're robbing them of the full experience of their own contact with God. Excuse me, I gotta go behind the fan because I'm not sure. Does that make any sense? Because I'm not sure what I just said. I'll have to watch this later to hope that I said that correctly. Please excuse me. And God says, come and get your love. So I'm really sorry if this sounded to be a religious talk, but it really wasn't. It isn't. I'm not a religious person. Okay? I have what I have, right? And I share as much as I can, but I can't give it to you. That's for you to take on your own. I got you the moment you said that it's a hard fall. Thank you, honey. Makes perfect sense. Everyone's relationship with their higher power is personal. Absolutely. So that's why I have a hard time with being told what I'm allowed to believe in a church. Now, if I go to church, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against church. I have never gone to a ceremony or church or gone to mass in any denomination where I didn't get something out of it before I left. And that's a gift from God. But the moment you take a religion or Bible or anything word for word as law, you're replacing God with religion. Okay? And then you that's when things begin to go wrong, right? You can go to church and share and enjoy and embrace and be one with your congregation and your fellow man around you, putting out that positive spirit, kind of like what we do every day. But it doesn't make it your belief. You carry your belief in and you carry your belief back out again because it's yours. Negativity talk can be embedded in memory. I always, when the kids were little, say, you're too smart to do wrong. I always let them know they can choose and know the consequences. Well, I wish I had been a better mother, because I got frustrated with Briar sometimes and said, are you stupid? And he goes, huh? And I'd say, no, are you stupid? That's a choice, right? I wish that you had given me the words to say, then I learned more and said, you are not stupid. You just have to look at life in a different perspective. I mean, kids don't come with manuals, right? But Briar and I have come a long way, and we talk. Like, Briar and I are heart to heart when it comes to being able to communicate. And there's even saying there's a lot of that's true. Major difference between religious and being spiritual. There's a lot of people who take the words, get offended by the word spiritual because they think we're cutting God and Christ out of the picture. No. It just means that when I talk to Christ, I'm talking to Christ. When I'm talking to God, I'm talking to God. And 9 times out of 10, they're the same folk, right? But I don't put that out there. I don't choose, because it's mine and it's private and it's personal and it works for me. It's all about the cash nowadays. Well, you know what? Not necessarily. I mean, it sure is for those folks running it. But guess what? For the people that are in those churches, they are getting what they go for. Okay? They're in a large congregation that's being moved by the Spirit, right? Don't think people don't go there, they don't go there intentionally to fuel money into the church. They go there for what they can't find anywhere else. right? I've never been to a. You know what? I'd love I wish we had a gospel church around here. I really do, because that would be awesome. I apologize for my earlier comment. I didn't know. What comment was that, Jazzy Cathy? The chat goes by pretty quick when there's like 91 people here. My favorite church is sitting alone. Yeah. I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way. I wish I knew the words. Oh, Lord, show me the way. Oh, darling, let's go down to the river to pray. No mom is perfect. We're all perfectly imperfect. That's true. I've seen the long-term effects of negative words from childhood to adulthood. Yeah, I'm still a hair trigger if someone tells me to shut up. Because it's not just telling me to shut up. It's telling me to shut down. It's telling me to be a dust mote in the corner and not be seen or heard until they want me to be seen or heard. And I don't shut up for nobody. Unless God asks me to. A bad joke. Well, share the bad joke. The church is the people, not the building. Thank you, Jean, for that. Have you seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I started to watch it, couldn't get into it. That phrase, shut up, relax, is another one. If someone says, relax, that's a good way to get a throat punch. That and shut up. Those are negative things. Relax is not a positive word. If I'm upset about something and someone's telling me to relax, it's the same as telling me to shut up. I have not been a perfect parent. We are all parent according to our history. Exactly. We all parent according to our history. The only thing we can hope for is to improve on the next. Learn from, not parent according to how our parents parented us, but parent according to how we grew up with that parenting, right? All we can do is, each generation has its problems and its setbacks, but all we can do is hope that we improve on each generation, right? Did my kids get spanked? Yes. Will my grandkids? Probably never. If I have grandkids, God, please, grandkids. I'm working so hard at being a good grandkiddy mother that so. The words shut up were not allowed in my house when my kids were growing up. We all make our own mistakes. The only true sin is not learning from them. Right? When we make bad choices, if we don't learn from those bad choices, when we make mistakes, if we don't learn from those mistakes, then it's called insanity, because you're making the same mistakes over and over again, expecting different results. So what you do is, if you get angry, okay, why am I really angry? Because I've personally learned that all anger comes, if you trace it back, all negative emotion stems from some form of fear. Because there's only two true emotions: fear and love, or fear and joy. Fear and love, right? So all negative emotions stem from one form of fear or another. That's why I hate commercials on TV so much. Mother of 5 boys, I have made many mistakes. I just try to make sure they all know I love them. That's right. I've made amends to my children, right? And there's still things I remember that I cringe over. But my kids have given me their full and free forgiveness, right? And for that, I'm a really lucky mama, right? Because, Briar was 4 before we got sober. Arthur was 9. You know what I mean? We we correct what we can, and my daughter improves on my parenting. I'm so proud of her. Yeah. Okay, you hurry back, honey. So, I mean, learn from your mistakes. If something your parents did made you go, I will never do that to my children, examine why you say you would never do that to your child, right? I mean, I've made my mistakes too. We all have. But as long as your children know that you love them and that you genuinely, like, my kids, I've told you, you guys don't come with manuals, right? So someone said to me, so I saw somebody say something um, recently about same-sex marriage or gay pride or something like that, and they said, I can, it irritates me. I can love the sinner and but still hate the sin. But if you are angry, like if you're looking at that sinner or those sinners or whatever the case, that you see them as sinning, aren't you judging? You can't say, I love the sinner but hate the sin and then get angry over the sin, because you're not. You're judging the person you're supposed to be loving because it's a negative emotion, right? You can't judge. You just can't do it. It is not up to us. You can. This is my problem with people quoting chapter and verse in the Bible and stuff like that. The Bible's a really good book to be learned from. Hell, it's the textbook for life. But it's a textbook. It's not the teacher. You understand? So when people start quoting text and verse to prove that they're right in their righteous anger, I just go, sorry, I can't listen to that. I can't. Because to me, there's only one judge and I don't want his job. Right? I get angry all the time. People running red lights, you asshole. That's not a judgment. That's just calling it as I see it. But still, I'm not judging somebody for their lifestyle. I'm not judging somebody based on their weight or their looks or their sex or their sexual preference or their religious preference. Judging's judging. Don't friggin' do it. It's not our job. So if you find something that disturbs you, examine why it disturbs you and then take it to God in prayer. Write it down. Sooner or later, if you write it down, you're going to figure out what's got you so tied up about it. And then you can thank God for helping you to figure it out. Because when you're wasting your time tied up in angst about somebody else's shit, somebody else's lifestyle, somebody else's sexual preference, somebody else's religion, you're using up valuable space in your mind and your heart. Okay? You're renting out space to total garbage. Would you build a lawn? Would you build a property and then, that is a Garden of Eden to the closest you can make it, but rent it out to somebody for garbage? As a garbage dump? No. So why do you rent out the space in your heart and your head to things that are none of your business? Seriously. What you think about me is none of my business. It's your thoughts. Right? So why wouldn't I do that for anybody else? I always tried to remind them that being angry is okay. It's how they deal with that anger. It's how they, is right or wrong. And that they aren't in an argument with someone, you can't unsay hurtful things. Absolutely. Okay? Let's look at that statement. Being angry is okay. But it's how you manifest and, like you said, how you manifest and deal with that anger. Okay? You can punch a wall, punch a person, or you can go, why do I want to punch somebody? Get out a piece of paper and a pen and start writing, and maybe you'll figure it out. And then you can take it to God and say, please take this from me. You take it. I can't handle it. Yeah, I've sworn at God. He's pretty tolerant. You know, he gets me. Why? Because it's my relationship with God. Furby's back in the house. I'm in a different parent mode as a mama raising a young child. I tell him he's lucky I'm chaotic. You were saying exactly how I feel about life. I can judge the actions of a murderer or a pedophile. I can still love them enough to pray for them. No, you can't judge the actions of a murderer or pedophile unless you're in the jury, and I wouldn't want to be there. It is not our job to judge. It is our job, okay? It is our job to say, because the moment you judge a murderer or a pedophile, you are closing them off to forgiveness altogether. And praying for them does no good. Why? Because you're not praying from a centered heart. Okay? You know what I mean? Does forgiving them make their actions okay? No. All right? But what forgiving somebody does, it's easy to forgive somebody you love. It's real tough to forgive somebody that you just don't understand where the hell they're coming from. Are they hearing demons or something? It's really hard to love that person. But the truth of the matter is, the moment you judge, the moment you enter into trying to forgive somebody or pray for somebody with a negativity on the side, that side of your heart, it's not going to be heard properly. Do you understand? Okay? It's easy to love and forgive someone you love. But to love and forgive a pedophile or a murderer is beyond me some days. Is beyond me. I don't forgive the action. I forgive the tortured soul that did it. And I hand them over to God. Because the moment I want to judge, I'm no longer at center with my heart. You can judge the actions, not the person. You don't know what is in control of their soul or their heart or their mind. You don't know how sick they are. Okay? You don't. When I forgive, doesn't mean forgiveness and condoning are totally separate things. When you forgive somebody for an action, what does that mean? It means I'm no longer going to allow what their actions did color the rest of my life from this point on. Otherwise, I'm carrying it around. And you can't carry that crap. It wears you down. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just talking, right? Forgiveness doesn't make what they did okay. It just means you are not going to allow it to affect you from this moment forward. Okay? Let me think of an example. The way my mother-in-law left. Okay? I was gutted. Okay? And I worked and chewed on that like a dog for 6 months. And then it was a year and a half before I could finally, and for a year and a half, I put myself through hell. I did that. Because when she left, she kicked dirt over this place in her mind. I'm not saying that's the way it is today. Sometimes people have to go to neutral corners to learn to forgive. But it took me a year and a half of suffering and anxiety and journaling and anger and hurt to realize that I was the one that was keeping all the drama and the angst and the anger going in my heart and in my mind. I had not forgiven and let go. So I have forgiven my mother-in-law for the gut-wrenching crap that I went through. I have forgiven her for the way she left. And it no longer affects the rest of my life. I'm able to love my mother-in-law and hold my mother-in-law and kiss her and tell her I miss her. Does that make what we went through okay? Hell no. But am I going to let that affect the rest of my life, the rest of her life, the rest of our lives together in a relationship over past shit? Absolutely not. That is forgiveness. Do you understand? Hey, Dallas! Hi, darling. It's wasted energy. Thank you, Carrie. It's absolutely wasted energy. So when something is chewing at your heart, get out a journal, start writing. Okay? Write all the bullshit and the anger. Write it all. Don't stop and think, because nobody else is ever going to see this. It's a journal. Write it all down, no matter how horrific you feel. And then put it away and go pray. And then at a later date, when you're more calm and you've got a little more centered, go back and read. And don't flinch about what you see. Go through and find out why you were afraid. Because you know what my fear was? That I was going to lose my mom again. It all boiled down to, I lost my mother once, and now I've lost her again. That was my fear. All right? And I'm not going to let that happen. If we don't let go as victims, we're the only ones that suffer. The offender doesn't give his offenders a second chance. That's right. And so I chewed on it and journaled on it and fumed on it for a year and a half before I could really let it go. And I'm okay. You know? But guess what? It would have lasted. It wouldn't have happened as it did if I had been honest right from the start in my relationship with my mother-in-law and didn't ignore things that I should have confronted, from day one. Listen to your heart. Don't ignore the things that are whispering in your ear going, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Or wait a second, how does that make you feel? Right? You deal with them then they don't build up for 20 some years. You're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome, Doris. You just have to look into your heart. Because if there's anger there, there's culpability. Right? I was in this relationship with my mother-in-law. And I wasn't honest with myself or her. I just let a lot of things get ignored for the sake of peace. Biggest friggin' mistake I ever made in my relationship with my mother-in-law. Because we didn't have an honest one. How many people are friends for 25 years and don't fight? So, anyway, yes. Thank you, Patricia. You take care, sweetheart. Now we are going to go. I'm really sorry this seemed to be like I'm not going to apologize for what I've said. Because somewhere somebody needed to hear it, obviously. Or it wouldn't have just come out the way it did, right? But, for all those who care to, please help me close with a spiritual hug. Again, this is a non-denominational plea to the higher power of your understanding. Don't let the fact that I call my higher power God change or stop you from adding your positive energy, your light, your love, your faith to the end of these live streams, because we don't know that we're not doing something good. We know that if our intentions are honorable and our intentions are good, the energy has to go somewhere, right? Yes, it is a conscious decision sometimes whether to be happy or not. And sometimes people can't help it, honey. That's why there's depression, right? Sometimes it's a conscious decision, and sometimes it's not, right? You're welcome, Elizabeth. All right, for all those who care to, let's take a deep breath. Hey, God, it's us connected hearts and friends and family from YouTube. I wanted to say thank you, God. I'm not sure what I said today, but it felt right. It felt right. So I'm gonna give the honor to you. If I said anything that reached somebody, then the glory is yours, God, my Father. It was a really good live stream today, God. Thank you for all the friends and the family. Thank you for bringing me tea home and letting Dallas pop in, let us know she's okay. Thank you for all the love and honesty that we get to share on a daily basis when we come here. There's a lot of people out there, God, that are having a hard time mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. There's a lot of people who are alone or neglected or sick or rejected or locked down or controlled. God, we just want to lift those people up to you, God. Even if they have a faith or if they don't have a faith, we will give them our faith for today. We lift them up to you, God, in our faith, knowing that the sunshine of your love will smile on down on them. And if they heal and they don't understand why, that's okay, God. We understand why. And if they don't heal, but they make it to the other end, then we know you got them there, God. Just like you do for us every single day. And we thank you for that. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Blessed be Miigwech. Merry meet. Whatever your salutation is, let it be said with love and positive energy, because you just never know who's listening. And remember, folks, if you it's not good and evil, it's light and dark. And if you live your life in the light, the darkness can't claim you. All right? Mwah! Take care. God bless. And all things being equal and ordinary, we'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys.